Hello and welcome to the Pet Showcase presented by the Sun Valley Animal Shelter in Glendale. We have a number of very lovely dogs and cats that are available for adoption, and we're going to show a selection of them to you today. I have here with me Cheryl Ann Trim, who's going to discuss the dogs with you. So Cheryl Ann, take over.
All right, thanks a lot, Al, and thank you for tuning in today. And today I've got a very scared little puppy on the podium.
He's shaking.
He is. His name is Peter, and he's about 5 months old, a little Chihuahua mix, and he's all white, except he's got one little beige spot on his back, and he is just adorable. He still even has his puppy teeth. He came to us as a stray with several other puppies. They were found wandering the streets and with their mother as well. And luckily they were nice enough. The animals were not frightened. So a kind Samaritan brought all of the animals into our shelter. So he's just as sweet as can be. And with our puppies, we do something special. All of our animals, when you come to our shelter, have a colored dot on the cage. And a blue dot means they're a puppy and we can't walk them. So we as volunteers here cannot walk a blue dotted dog. We're trying to keep them as healthy as we possibly can so that they don't get parvo or any other type of disease. So they don't get a whole lot of human interaction with the volunteers. They get staff interaction, but not as much as with the volunteers here. So we don't know how he walks on a leash. Obviously, he's not house trained or anything like that. We don't know if he likes cats or not. All we know is he's very scared.
Yeah, he's shaking, but he's a magnificent animal.
Yeah, he's really sweet. And he'll get probably just a little bit bigger, but he's a Chihuahua mix and his paws are not that big.
You don't have to worry. He's taking good care of you. Yeah. I think he likes me having a hand on her to hold him like
probably,
this.
yeah, that makes him feel better.
He just needs a lot of tender loving care.
Yes, he does. So come on out, ask for Peter. He's really sweet.
Thank you. Here's a
now we have a beauty here. She's about 1.5 years. Her name's Amore, and I've got to turn her around. She's a Jack Russell Whippet mix. And the reason Jack Russell Whippet, yeah. Ooh. And the reason I'm turning her around is she's got a blotch on her side here in the shape of a heart. Isn't that very unique?
Yeah, that is unique.
Yeah. She came in with her sister. She's a stray. She actually stayed at a person's house for a little bit. They thought maybe they would be able to handle the 2 dogs, but they just were not set up to take in any dogs, so they brought them here to the animal shelter. And she is, they tell us that she's house trained, crate trained, and does very well in the house. So she's wonderful here at the shelter. She likes so many of the dogs at the animal shelter. Has a beautiful, beautiful face. She is going to shed a little bit, not a lot.
No, not much.
And with the Whippet, she's got energy, Whippets and Jack Russell, so she's got lots of energy. So please bone up.
Yeah, be prepared
with your background on these animals, because this animal is going to have lots of energy, need maybe a big yard, a younger child, maybe 7, 8-year-old little boy or girl that wants to keep. Exercise with this dog, but she's really, really nice. And like I say, when she gets, it's so nice to have a dog that gets along well with so many of the other animals at the shelter. We don't know how she is with cats, and she seems to be doing fairly well in here.
She doesn't notice the cats that are around here. They're all over the place. And
no, so this is Amore, so come on out and ask for Amore.
Yeah, smooth fur.
Yes.
We're getting a lot of smooth fur.
And no grooming, no professional grooming.
Yeah.
And speaking of professional grooming,
here's a little poodle.
This is a little Shih Tzu poodle mix, and it's the classic Shih Tzu because it's got that classic underbite that they have. And he's just under 1 year old, and he was found running around with Peter, the first dog we had on the program. So he was just running stray, and luckily he was friendly enough that somebody was able to bring him into our shelter. He's definitely going to need to be groomed with that poodle fur in him. Don't fall off. But he's just all solid black. He's got a little bit of white on his chest. And he's really, really a nice little dog. He's doing okay on a leash. He's still not one that we can walk, but we can take him in a lounge that we have here at the shelter called our Barker's Lounge. And we put the leash and the collar on him, and we can kind of walk him in that room and try to get him used to having a collar on him.
How old is this dog?
He's just under 1 year.
Under 1 year, yeah.
Yeah, he's about 11 months old. But he's really, really sweet. A little thin, though. I think he feel him. You can really feel the ribs.
Yeah,
Maybe a pound or two he could stand to gain.
Yeah, but that's okay.
But he's really, really nice, really friendly. Seems to like a lot of the other dogs here at the shelter. And I can't believe this animal was walking around stray.
I can't either. A lot of times you wonder what happened.
Yeah, how did they get out? They weren't microchipped, and all of our dogs come microchipped, and they're all spayed or neutered. So next time if he were to get out, he will find his way home, whether it's at your home or here at the animal shelter. He will find his way back.
Yeah, well, thank you
So
very
come on
much.
out and ask for Greg.
A good point in the program to reiterate the importance of microchipping.
Yes.
That is so important. If you haven't got a cat or a dog microchip, please do so.
It's so important to get your animal back home. This is a sweetheart. This is Betsy, and she's about 1.5 years old. Her cage card says she's a Silky Terrier mix, but if she stands up, I don't know. She's a Silky Terrier on stilts, maybe. She's a pretty big dog.
Yeah.
So she's clearly some type of terrier mix.
I look at the paws, they're pretty large too.
And she could have some poodle in her, maybe. Her hair has kind of the poodle feel to it. Oh, did you hear that, kitty?
Oh yeah, you heard a cat.
I think Betsy might like kitties, we're not sure. She walks really well on a leash, very, very friendly. Again, another stray animal that somebody brought into us. We understand that she does, I believe this is one of them that does pretty well in a crate, and they were working with her on being housebroken.
Right.
So just remember, when you get a dog from our shelter, just because it's an adult dog, now Peter's the puppy that we had, the very first white dog, but any of these bigger adult dogs, they don't come automatically trained. You still have to work with them and give them an opportunity to fit in your household. It takes a good couple weeks before these animals realize that this is where they're going to stay and this is who my family is.
Right.
So everybody has to work. It's a big commitment from the entire family, and they want to find their forever home.
Yeah, so that's another important point that we have to emphasize over and over.
Yes.
That they don't adjust automatically the day you take them home.
No, it's very stressful for them. That first day or two can be very stressful, not only for the animal, but for the family as well, too, because now you've got a new animal in your house.
Yeah.
So come on out, ask for Betsy. She's really sweet.
Okay, thank you.
And one thing I'd like to add too, it's going to be after the holidays when this program airs, and people might be getting Christmas candy and poinsettias sitting around here, around your house, and poinsettias are very, very lethal to a dog, as is chocolate. So make sure that you have all your plants and your candy picked up so that your pets can't get into them, dogs as well as cats.
Yeah, that's a very good piece of advice. I failed to mention it myself. I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Poinsettias in particular are a problem, and chocolate, of course.
Yep. And this little one is Truly, and Truly is a Whippet Jack Russell mix. Turn your face around, pretty girl.
Well, I see the Whippet in them.
Yes. Beautiful face, beautiful like light green eyes. She's very, very pretty. And she is friends or a litter mate with Amore, the dog we had earlier on the program. And what we've noticed with her now is she is very good with other dogs at the shelter as long as you're walking her on a leash. The minute you sit down with her, she's very lap possessive. So if you bring her home, either you know that she really, really likes the pet that you want to have as her buddy, or she might have to be the only child in the household. But she loves the other dogs, but the minute she's on your lap, then she doesn't want to have anybody else around you, so she gets very possessive.
Very possessive, yeah.
And we found out too that she's possessive with her food. So that just means I have 4 dogs, and I feed everybody separately, just to make sure that we don't have a situation happen. So that's all that means. Don't let that scare you to say, oh gosh, I cannot adopt Truly. She truly is a really, really nice dog. Beautiful, the face. I just love her face. It's just very. Hopefully the camera's catching it.
I'm sure she did.
Just very attractive. She's just really, really pretty.
Good.
So come on out, ask for Truly.
A really good
1.5 years
dog.
old. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and here's our final dog.
This is the last dog of the program. This is a little squirt, just a little guy, but he's got a big name, Ernesto.
Oh, Ernesto.
A big name for such a little guy. And he's a Chihuahua mix, but I don't know, what do you think? There's no tail back there. He could have some mint pin in him.
I think he's a Chihuahua. Look at the face.
He could be, but clearly some kind of mix. His tail could have fallen off, gotten hurt, or maybe it was docked. We really don't know.
Maybe been born that way.
He could have been.
Genetically,
Yeah. And his story's just a little bit sad. Somebody found him in a wash in a dry riverbed.
Oh gosh.
So can you imagine a little guy like this found in the riverbed? We're so glad that people come and turn the animals into our shelter. We are a no-kill shelter, so we will hang on to these precious animals until they get adopted. So that's the nice thing about our shelter, is they will always have a home until they find their forever home. This is just their in-between home.
Oh, very good. Well, thank you very much, Cheryl Ann. We're getting towards the end of the dog showcase part of our program. And if you wait just about a minute or so, we'll be coming back with the cat showcase.
If you want to adopt one of the animals you see right here on this program, contact the Sun Valley Animal Shelter at 623-872-7941 or visit them online at sunvalleypets.org.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
Welcome back. Next part of the program is our cat showcase, and that will be presented to you by Tony Bowers, who's been doing this for quite some time. And so, Tony, take over. What's going on here?
Well, we've got, actually, this is Zeta, Z-E-T-T-A.
Oh,
yes.
T-T-A.
Yeah, Zeta. And she is a 4-year-old spayed female. And you can see by her coloring, she is just staggering. She's just so beautiful. A Seal Point Siamese. She was surrendered to the shelter because her family actually encountered health reasons. And they weren't able to continue having her in the home. So unfortunate as it is, we were so happy to see her. She's so sweet. She gets along with everybody here in the shelter. All the cats have been microchipped here. She's had her rabies shot. And hopefully, if you turn around so they can see your pretty face, you have such a pretty face. Siamese are a very particular breed, as we know. They have a lot to say most of the time. So hopefully, if you're considering a Siamese in your home, she gets along with other cats actually here in the shelter, but usually they're very talkative. And they have very distinct personalities. So again, this is Zeta, and she's 4 years old.
Okay, thank
we let her go. All right, this is our second handsome young man here now. This is Andy, and Andy is about 2 years old, and you can see his coloring. He's very beautiful, gray and white. He's about 2 years old. He was also surrendered to the shelter along with kind of like a foster brother.
Right.
And unfortunately, his owner, I believe, was shipped overseas and didn't have anybody to leave his cats with, so he brought them back here to the shelter. They had originally come from the shelter here.
I see.
And so they were returned to the shelter, but he's a wonderful, wonderful cat. Gets along with other cats here in the shelter. Very active. He's a good size for being a 2-year-old cat, so he's good size. Yeah, we hope you have room for him. But he loves to be petted, and he loves the attention from everybody, and I think they just kind of miss their owners.
Right.
It's unfortunate.
Oh, sure. They are psychological like people are. I mean, they miss their,
right. They do.
their people
They really do. So we're lucky enough to have a lot of volunteers that come in here to the shelter and are able to spend time here in the shelter with the cats, and they'll sit on chairs and sofas and pet them and brush them, keeping them used to having brushing and so on. Now this, you're not going to believe this at all, I know.
Okay, what is
This
it?
is Angel. How old do you think she is?
Angel, I would say about 4, 5.
She's actually just reaching 10 years old.
Wow.
Amazing. I
That is
know.
amazing, yeah.
And her family, she was also surrendered here to the shelter. Her family fell on poor times financially, and they couldn't hang on to her. She is a dream. She's a beautiful, beautiful tortie. And she's got some white accents on her feet. Just a beautiful example of a cat that's had good care all her life. She's in excellent health, and just she's fit.
Yeah, now 10 years old, incidentally, is not that old. I mean,
No.
it's middle age for a cat. I've had cats all my life, and
Yeah.
most of them last 17, 18, and my current cat is now pushing 14, and so 10 years is not what you call old by any
but
means.
it is amazing to see how well she's doing.
Yeah.
And of course, here in the shelter, people worry, you know, but they get a tremendous amount of good attention here. And of course, like I said before, with the volunteers, so a lot of human interaction.
Right.
She's good with the other cats here, and we really would like to have her find a home before the holidays.
Right.
She needs to be in a home with people again.
And I want to mention one other thing about this cat being 10. The big advantage is that they have a settled personality.
Yes.
And you know exactly what the cat's going to be like.
Right. And she's got, you know, she's up to date on her shots, and all of those things, along with the good feeding, the good food, and a lot of exercise. You know, that's a nice thing. When people come here, they're amazed at our cat room. We have a lot of climbers, but we also had a wonderful volunteer that years ago built a catwalk over our windows
over here. You can't see it on the camera.
So
but, yeah.
our cats have a lot of places to get exercise, so that's good for them
and
too.
to hide.
And to hide, right. And sometimes people think, well, you don't have very many cats.
Yeah.
But we do. They have lots of cubby holes and places. But anyway, this is O'Reilly. And O'Reilly is a neutered male. He is actually about 2 years old, and he was found in a auto parts parking lot. And the lady that found him brought him home, and she said, well, he's got to be named O'Reilly. He just simply has to be. She unfortunately couldn't keep the cat at home, but she brought him here. He is stunning, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, look at
It's
this.
a beautiful animal.
He is solid gray and a fantastic personality to match. He is wonderful. He
wants to go too.
He wants to, well, they do kind of, they get up here and they get a little camera shy.
Yeah.
But he's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a nice neutered male and a good size, not too big, not too small, about 2 years old. He's up to date on his shots. And again, all of our animals have microchips when they go up for adoption.
Right.
So this is poor Cinna. She's making a lot of noise. She was outside when we have
gonna
an
be hard to
outside area.
handle.
She is, it's called Cinna, and I'm going to kind of hold her so we can get some shots before she
You're
takes
gonna
off from us.
Have to tie her down.
I guess. She's 9 months old, and she's active as
Yeah.
heck. She was also found with a group of other kittens and came in here. We've spayed her. Oh, look at you. You're a wiggle worm, aren't you? Can we just let you
She
go?
says, I want to go.
She has that swirl design and then a white tummy with white feet. Really pretty. Not too big, but she has some growing still to do. She's spayed and microchip and shots.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to have some kittens.
Oh, yeah,
Okay?
as usual. Here we
Because you
go.
know,
Here
during the
we go.
holidays, we want to see kittens.
We want to see kittens.
So, we have the two little black and white ones are siblings. And one is called Fortune, the other one is called Luck. And they will be a little bit longer haired. They're about a medium hair right now. I don't think they'll be long hair, but they've got a pretty good coat on them and very distinctive markings. So we hope our camera guys here are going to get lots of facial
These
pictures.
two seem like they're siblings.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came from the same
Right.
litter. And the little guy in the center here is Fizzy, F-I-Z-Z-Y, and he also has some siblings in the kitten room too. So unfortunately, with our kitten population, most of these kittens have been found by just wonderful people out in the public. Kittens are being born everywhere, and they find them under logs, in sheds, under cars, and so on. The two little black and white ones are 4 months old, and 5 months old, and then Fizzy's about 4 months old. Now these guys are all males. They have been neutered. They have their microchips and all their shots. And they just need a home.
They need a home. In fact,
need you.
You can take 2 of them.
Well, these two are characters.
Yeah.
They are just, they are so funny. Very distinctive markings on these gorgeous kittens.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, they
gorgeous.
really are. But again, we keep our kittens in a separate room so that they can be kittens and not pester these adult cats to heck. They can climb, they're loose, they climb, they run, they jump, they hide.
Yeah, everything a big cat doesn't
And
want
they
to have.
cuddle. They're so sweet. We'd love for you to come by, bring your family, come by and take a look at our cat population. If you're interested in a kitten, that'd be great.
You know, I'd like to point out one thing, especially with kittens. If you adopt 2 of them, it has some advantages. They are companions to each other, and they stay out of trouble. They jump around together and play, and everything else that kittens do.
That's
and
right.
so I'm saying this seriously. It really is an advantage.
It really does, yeah. They keep each other busy.
Yeah.
Look at the markings on this one's
well,
face.
I can see
They're
right away.
so
It's the same
beautiful.
As this. Look at that.
And very unusual. But we have lots of kittens, males, females, long hair, short hair, colors. Please come by and take a look.
Okay. While we have some time, you can take the kittens off. While we have some time, I'd like to review a few things that you should keep in mind at all times. All of our animals, cats and dogs, are fully inoculated, including rabies, and of course are neutered or spayed, and have a microchip, and are inspected by a veterinarian. So everything is ready to go with these animals. It's not like you're getting only part of an animal. They're ready to go. And it's one thing that's important, because sometimes in stores and places that have what do you call puppy mills, you're not so sure about that.
Right.
So it's an important factor to keep in mind. So I appreciate you coming on again,
Thank
Tony.
you. And our adoption fees are inclusive of all of the shots and the spay neuters and so on.
Right.
And, that's a nice thing. There's no extra fees involved at all.
And the fees are very low.
They are.
Actually.
They are.
Well, thank you very much. And that concludes our cat showcase. And if you'll stay with us, we'll have an interesting program coming on in a 3rd segment.
If you want to adopt one of the animals you see right here on this program, contact the Sun Valley Animal Shelter at 623-872-7941 or visit them online at sunvalleypets.org.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Shelters are the best places to find a new pet.
What a perfectly beautiful little lady.
That's where you'll discover healthy, loyal, and loving animals.
You little rascal.
Eager to become a part of your family. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet.
Oh, ladies first.
Be that person. Adopt.
This is living. Hey, kid.
To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Welcome back for the final segment. We have Susan Alexander here, who's going to be discussing some interesting topics. The first one of which is a very unusual breed of dog that we have. And why don't you discuss our newcomer here?
Okay. We have an Anatolian Shepherd. She was brought down here from a ranch in Northern California by a relative of a woman who was dying. She was a breeder at one point. She had quite a few of them. The males were not domesticated. They were actually the guardians of the flock. The female had been domesticated for a few years and lived in and out. So she did have manners, and she's a very sweet dog.
Right.
But she was pregnant. So the woman here in Scottsdale had the son of the female that she brought down. But the son would not let her in the pack. So she brought her here, where we delivered her babies, and she had 7. And we are taking applications for these 7 Anatolian Shepherd puppies and mom, whose name is Daska, because they are from Turkey, and that's a Turkish name.
That's right.
So one thing about these, you have to be very aware of this breed. They are not herding dogs, they are guard dogs, protective of their flocks. They will treat their family as their flocks.
Right.
So they require a lot of training, obedience training, professional training. They require a very confident owner who can be alpha to them. They can get up to 150 pounds. So they are large-sized dogs. So you want to take that into consideration. Yeah. They can be outdoors and indoors. They cannot be crated. They're not good in a crating situation, and they can be destructive if they are confined.
Right.
They can be very sweet with their family, especially if they're, trained right. Right. But they are very independent thinkers, and they will, if you don't train them right and socialize them, take them everywhere, to puppy parks and everything. They can turn on a stranger that comes into your yard.
Well, the net result of this is that this is a very special breed, a very unusual breed, but it requires a very special person who is going to take the effort to learn all of this in order that they can turn into a good owner of a dog.
And just like the herding breed, they do need jobs.
Yeah.
So you can train them. They were actually trained to be independent when they're guarding the herd.
Right.
So they do that automatically. There is no training for the protective part. Right. So,
well, that's a very interesting breed.
So if you think you can handle one, do your research. Come on in, fill out an application, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of talk about it.
Okay? All right, then I've got a subject that's dear to my heart.
Okay.
It's our old timers. We have Sabrina. She'd been here a year.
Right.
Okay. She just did not show well here, very stressed and very crazy. Well, she finally got adopted.
Oh, wonderful.
She went home with a family, with kids. And I'd like to just go over the letter they sent. We just wanted to send you an update on Sabrina. We are so blessed to have her. She has been adjusting to her new surroundings quite well. It took a bit for her to understand that she was here to stay, so there were a few attempts to run in the beginning. Right. Life with us has been good for her, though, because now she understands she's here and she never goes far from us. Right. She graduated from beginner and intermediate training, and she has learned to trust others and is more secure in our protection of her. She has had a lot of adventures and travels in her short time with us. She takes it all in stride and is always up for a lot of fun. She's so full of life and love. She's our cuddle bug, but also loves playtime.
Well, I like to hear these good stories because it does...
We have 3 long-timers right now. Chico, Nino, and Ricky.
Yeah.
So come in and get them. They're good dogs.
All right. Thank you very much, Susan. Thank you for watching. That concludes our program for today, and we hope to see you soon again.